Hello, dear grade 7 students. Today's lesson is 3.4. Describe proportional relationship, the constant of proportionality. So, the learning intention of today's class is to find the constant of proportionality in a proportional relationship, okay, or in just the proportional relationships in general. So, our success criteria, which will help us go step by step in this lesson. Number one, we will identify the constant of proportionality. Number two, we're going to find the constant of proportionality using the equation. And number three, we will use that constant of proportionality to create the equation that represents proportional relationships to help us solve many real life situations. Our vocab words for today, ratio, rate, unit rate, constant of proportionality, and proportional relationships. Now, the main thing we're going to focus about today is these two. Okay, so let's get going. So let's move on here to the first example. As you can see, we have several tables that's been given to us, and they're asking us to find the ratio of y to x and use it then to write the equation that represents each proportional relationship. So here is the triangle that will help us memorize the two equations that we need in this lesson. It's better if you cannot memorize the value of k and the equation that represents how to find k and the equation that helps you find y. It's easier for you guys to use this triangle, okay? So what we should know is that k is equal to, as you can see from the triangle, I can tell that k is equal to y divided by x, okay? And then I can conclude that y, if I want to find the value of y, I can conclude that y, let me delete those, so you guys can conclude that y is equal to k times x, or we just simply write kx. Okay, guys? Now, for this question, we need to find the constant of proportionality. And the constant of proportionality, we usually refer to it with the letter k. The equation that helps us find the constant is by dividing the value of y divided by the value of x. So we're going to start with the first table. As you can see here, we're going to take the value of y divided by x. So we will take 2 divided by 4. And then we will take 3 divided by 6. And then the third value is 5 divided by 10. As you can see, when you simplify all of these fractions, they're going to be equal to the same thing, which is a half. Okay? Because a 3 out of 6, it's the same as you took half of the quantity that you guys have. So, as you noticed that all the ratio that we got by dividing the value of y by x is all of them is equal to half. So we can conclude k is equal to half. What does that tell us? That tells us that this relationship is proportional. Okay? When you get a constant value, a constant ratio, that means you have a proportional relationship. And this is why we got the term constant. This is where the term constant of proportionality comes from. You get the same ratio, it means your constant of proportionality is equal to half. So basically, constant of proportionality, it's the ratio between two constant proportionalities, y and x. Okay, guys? Now, so step number one, I found my k. I found my constant of proportionality by dividing y divided by x, it's half. Now, step number two, I'm going to use it to write my equation. So y is equal to kx. I know that k is half, so I'm just going to substitute it in my equation, and that is my equation. So usually in exams, they ask you for two things. Number one, find the constant of proportionality. And number two, they ask you to write the equation that represents the proportional relationship that you have. Or usually, most of the time, they just go to question 2 directly. So you guys, you should be aware that if you want to get to y, if you want to know how to write the equation, the proportional relationship equation, you have first to find the value of k. Okay, and as you can see here, it's the same thing for table 2 and table 3. Let's move on. Okay, if you move on here to the solution, okay, look at the second one. When we divided y divided by x, we did the same as what we did with table 1, which is 4 divided by 12 and 6 divided by 18 and 5 divided by 15 and 3 divided by 9. We got the same ratio, which is 1/3. So we use that constant to write our proportional relationship equation. So it's equal to y equals 1/3 of x. Okay? So if you guys don't know how to simplify, it's very easy. You have to find the common factor. Like 4 and 12, what's the common factor? They both can be divided by 4. Okay? So 4 divided by 4, that will be 1. 12 divided by 4, that will be 3. We're done. Same thing you do, for example, 3 and 9. What's the common factor between them? That will be 3. So divide by 3, you end up with 1/3. Okay? So again, if you want to get your constant of proportionality, you guys have to simplify each fraction. You're supposed to end up with this value. Okay? You're supposed to end up with the same value. Okay, they all actually have the same value, but you're supposed to end up with the same numbers for y and x. Okay, now let's move on to the third table. It's the same idea. When you divide 12 divided by 3, that's 4. 20 divided by 5, so you just have to divide y, each value of y divided by each value of x, and you're gonna get here the value of k will be 4. So here we can conclude that the constant of proportionality doesn't always have to be a fraction or a whole number. It could be any, okay? Or even it could be a decimal. And then you use that k to write your proportional relationship equation. You substitute it y equal 4x. Okay. So let's move on here to the definition of the constant of proportionality. You guys should focus on it. It's the ratio between two constant proportionalities, y and x. You guys should know that k is equal to y divided by x, and that you should know the equation that represents the proportional relationship is referred to as y equal kx. Okay, guys? These are the two only things that you're supposed to know in this lesson, in 3.4. K, how to find k, how to write your equation. Okay? This is the first one, is the constant of proportionality. The second one is the relationship, is the proportional, the equation that represents the proportional relationship. Okay. Now let's move on to another real life application here. They're telling you here, write an equation. So we just, once they tell you write the equation, guys, what do? You directly go and write on top y equal kx. That's the equation that they want. But in order to be able to write it, what should you do first? You should find the value of k. Okay? So once they tell you in the exam, write the equation of proportionality, you write y equal kx. Okay? Be careful. This is the equation. That thing here, that's the constant. This equation to help you find the constant. Okay, now let's move on. So we have here a sponge. It's an example of a filter feeder. It takes in food by filtering water through its body. So the sponge maintains a constant flow of water, as you can see from the picture. What is the equation that represents the proportional relationship between the time and the amount of water filtered? So this sponge helps you basically filter water. Water comes in, comes out filtered. So here they gave you two data pieces that we guys can use to fill the table in here. So they told you the first data, in 10 hours, it filters 8 liters. And in 15 hours, it filters 12 liters. So we're going to use these data pieces and fill them in the table. Okay, so I'm going to put my first data, which is a piece of data, which is 10 hours. Okay, when the value is 10, In 10 hours, it filters 8 liters. And in 15 hours, it filters 12 liters. That's it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find my K, my ratio, my constant of proportionality. So how am I going to find it? I'm going to apply the equation y divided by x. So I will divide 8 divided by 10, and here 12 divided by 15. 8 divided by 10 is equal to 0.8, and 12 divided by 15 is going to be also 0.8. Okay, so step number 1, in order for me to write my equation, I should find the value of k. So we can conclude that k is equal to 0.8. So I found my first step. My second step, I'm just going to write my equation. Y equals 0.8 x, and I'm done. Okay, so that's it for me, guys. Now let's move on. To another type of examples, another type of real life applications, where here they don't give you a table. It's written to you as a word problem. It's a problem. Okay, as you noticed in the first picture, it's given to you as a table. Okay, now it's a problem. Later on in 3.5, they're going to give you a graph. So you will be applying the same exact steps. So let's solve this real life application together. So we have Anne's car can travel. Use the cubes strategy, guys. When you solve any real life problems, you need to box your numbers, underline the keywords. Yeah, it's very important to do that. Okay, so Anne's car travels 228 miles on 6 gallons of gas. So step number 1, they're telling you to write the equation. So when you think of equation, again, what do? You go on the side, you write your equation directly. We all know the equation of a proportional relationship is equal to y equals kx. So y equals kx. Now, where y, they're telling you it's the miles, and x, it's the number of gallons. It's the gallons of gas. So we know that the equation is y equal kx, but do we know k? Is k given to us, guys? It's not given to us. So your job, step number 1, you need to find k. So let's work on finding k. We all know that k is equal to y divided by x. We know that the value of y, it's given to us in miles, so that will be 228 miles, divided by x is the gallon of gas, that will be 6. So my k will be 38. So my ratio or my constant of proportionality is 38. So that is step 1. I find k, the constant of proportionality. Step 2, I'm going to write my equation. Y equals 38x. So what did I just do? I substituted the value of k with 38. And that's my equation. I'm done. Now, why we need this equation, you guys may ask why this equation is really important and why do we need it in real life? Because now it's going to help us solve the second part. What if Anne's car used 7 gallons of gas during the trip? How far did Anne travel? How far did she drive? So this is the part where it helps us in real life, because they could be asking you for 100 gallon for, you can't just keep on counting forever. You need an equation, just you substitute the value and you get your answer directly. This is math. So we know that they gave us 7 gallons. So I'm just going to grab my equation, y equal 38x. And we'll find out how much she drove in on 7 gallons of gas by substituting the value of x. We know now it's what? We know it's 7 gallons times 7. Okay, guys, so as you noticed here, this is a way to write multiplication, and instead of writing, you can write dot multiplication, you can write x. But this is also another way, parentheses. When you got nothing between them, it's multiplication. So now we know that 38 times 7 is equal to 266 miles. Okay, don't forget to put the unit at the end. So this is how far did Anne drove on 7 gallons of gas. Okay, So focus on this question, it's really important. And yeah, just to practice, try to practice whole numbers. Yeah. So let's move on now to more examples in your book, some also related questions that are really important. For example, question number 4 is really, really important. It's an easy question. It doesn't require that much thinking. Here they're asking you, is this equation, is each one of those equations, do they represent a proportional relationship or not? If it does, then you have to write for me what's k. What's the constant of proportionality? That means they want the value of k, if it does. So as you can see here, once they tell you equation, proportional relationship, you write it on top. Y equal kx. Okay, guys, that's my equation. So my job now is to look at each question and see if they match my equation. So here the first one is part A, y equal half x minus 2. Is it the same as this one? Is this one looking the same as this one? This one does not have minus or plus. So definitely, as you can see, no, it's not. So this one does not match my proportional equation. So you guys, we cannot take this as a constant of proportionality because it's not a proportional relationship. So we will just write no, it's not. But as for part B, look at part B. Is it matching? As for part B, is it matching? Y equals 1000x. Yes, 100%. It is a proportional relationship. It's written in the same way. Okay, remember guys, the proportional equation is just y equal kx. Nothing is being added, subtracted, divided, multiplied to it or from it. Okay, guys? So here, yes, it is a proportional relationship. Since it's a proportional relationship, the value of k will be equal to 1000. That's it. That's my k. Okay, guys? Because it's kx. So my k will be 1000. We're done. Second question. Yeah. Number 7 again, the same idea. What is the constant of proportionality? So they're asking you here just to find k. So where is k? K will be 5. That's it. We're done. Next one. Again, what is the constant of proportionality here? Again, they're asking you for k. K is equal here to 0.41. Like we mentioned earlier, that k could be a whole number, it could be a decimal, it could be a fraction, it could be any number that you guys know from, real numbers. So that's it. So the questions may sound difficult, but when you guys try to solve them, they're asking you the answer. Sometimes it's just one answer. So study these questions because inshallah, they are really important. Okay, so let's move on to question 11. Question 11 here, the weight of 3 eggs is shown. So here, look at the graph. They're giving you that the weight of 3 eggs is 120 grams, okay? Now, assuming they are all the same weight, here they're telling you to find the constant of proportionality. So they want you to find k. How do we find k? We divide the value of y divided by x. Okay? Now we know y, it's the total weight. Okay? We gave you a hint in here. We said y is the weight. So y is the total weight, which is 120, divided by the number of eggs, which is 3. And that will be 12 divided by 3. That's 4. And the 0 copy paste. So the constant of proportionality here, it means the weight of 1 egg, that will be 40 grams. Okay, that's your constant of proportionality. As you can see in these two questions from 4 to 11, they did not ask you guys to write the equation. They just asked you to find k, and that's it. Okay, let's move on here to this question. We have 600,000 gallons of water pass through a given point along a river every minute. Which equation, they want here the equation, represents the amount of water that passes in x minutes? Okay, so here I think once they ask you about the equation, it should be given to you in the form y equal kx. So they're telling you how many gallons of water pass every single minute. that will be the value of k, that will be 600,000 x. So you have to look for something that matches this equation. Is it the first one? No. Second one? Yeah, so that will be your answer. Third one, it's even, the number is wrong, it's 10,000. And here they added x, we don't add x, we multiply it. Okay? So when they tell you again equation, just think of y equal kx and try to find the value of k. Then write your equation. That's it for, oh, we still have two more questions. Okay, so this question is really, really important. It's actually related to part A, to task 1. Why does the equation, why this equation does not represent a proportional relationship? You guys, it's an easy question. Why do you think it does not represent a proportional relationship? Because what is the equation for our proportional relationship? We just studied one equation. The equation is what? Y equal kx. So is this thing, this equation that's given to you, is it equal to y equal kx? No, it's not. There's a plus 5 in this equation, so it does not match. So that should be your answer. You should write that a proportional relationship equation must be written in the form y equal kx. Y equal kx. Okay, this is how you guys should write it. And this question, I will explain it more in the next, this question. As for the map question here, it will be explained in details inshallah in 3.5, but let's try, let's solve it together. By the way, it's not in your book, but it's good to know it. Like we mentioned before, you can find k using in real life normal world problems. You can find it in a table, through a table, and you can also find it through a graph. So here they're asking you what's the constant of proportionality. Okay, they're giving you a graph, they're asking you to find the constant of proportionality. So basically, you guys, what you can do, deal with the graph same as you deal with the table. Start with a value. Take a value. This is the x value. We all know this is x, and that's y, because x coordinate, y coordinate, x axis, y axis. Okay, so let's start, for example, let's take the value 1. Okay, when x is 1, so I will put my equation k equals y divided by x. Okay, when my value x is 1, my y will be 5. So my k will be 5. Okay, if you guys are not sure, let's take another value. For example, we're going to take here the value 6. So again, we're going to do the same thing, k equals y divided by x. So when my x is 6 here, my y will be 30. And when you simplify it, 30 divided by 6, that will be 5. Okay, so just to make sure, we took another example just to double check, and we got the same value. So my constant of proportionality, guys, is 5. Okay, and that's it for 3.4. So we guys learned how to, we identified constant of proportionality. We learned how to find the constant, and then we learned how to write the equation that represents the proportional relationship. Okay, so see you when I see you again, inshallah, in another math video.